You are now tuned into the 2-Minute Warning, a live stream community conversation pertaining to social and political issues and how we can collectively resolve them. Powered by the Westside Gazette.
Good evening and welcome to the 2-Minute Warning. I'm your co-host here, Brother David Wright, here with my best friend, my good friend.
Oh, I'm your best friend.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this: I had a birthday and you treated me well.
Oh man, yeah.
So now you my best
Oh,
friend.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know,
But we go so far, man.
way back, man. I won't tell them.
No, we can't tell them. We can't tell them.
But no, man, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, but this is the editor-in-chief of the Westside Gazette, NNPA chairman, none other than my brother from another mother, Brother Bobby here.
Well, thank you so very much, David. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. Sometimes I know young folks say life is life. No, man, life is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter, it's just what it is, and I'm glad to be here. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna deal with some brothers.
Yeah,
And that's always good.
yeah.
Mhm.
On a positive tip.
On the positive tip, man. Yeah. And I want to say this before we get started. One of our judicial candidates, and to our viewers who are watching, when you talk to this candidate, Ms. Tamara Hamilton, please let her know that we had a spot for her on here to come, and we will continue to offer our program to candidates.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We want to be nonpartisan. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But and I just want to say, tomorrow, you can do it, and that's it. So that's my.
Because let's say that for a minute. This is the season, right? We're here now. It's right and ready for the picking.
We're in it.
And we need to hear from our candidates. We want people to know who you are. Again, this is a nonpartisan show. We believe in the whole democratic process of due process, even in elections. So we're not here to, and that's on both sides of the party, all three sides.
Absolutely.
We had our dear brother Miller on, Dr. Miller, and he shared. He's been on all three sides.
Oh, that's right.
So we're open. And we believe that's what the democratic process is all about. You have choices. So if you want to come on the show, know that we're open and there's no bashing, there's no backlash. Well,
I'm glad you said that. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, let's deal with it.
Let's deal with it. Speaking of backlash, we were engaged in conversation, downright open, honest conversation with one of our frequent guests, who's an attorney by trade and very knowledgeable of things that occur all around us, from the school system to the pulpit to the ballot. She's well versed. You know, but for some reason, could it be the conversation she had about the Broward County School Board putting them on blast
on this show?
And now she has been labeled as a member of the Moms for Liberty.
It's just disgraceful how people want to now target and create false information surrounded around an individual that was basically just speaking the truth of what they observed, what they physically saw. So, we're not going to stand for backlashing people that appear on this show.
And tell the truth. No, we're not going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
And if a person, whatever party, if a Republican wants to vote for a Democrat, so be it.
Yeah.
And if a Democrat want to vote for a Republican, so be it.
Yeah.
You know, we have that.
And even if the Democratic slate is full of qualified candidates, so be it.
So be it. If they are not adhering or willing to entertain or appreciate our agenda, then why should we vote? Why should we vote for them?
But let's just say this: the jury's still out.
Yeah.
There's still going to be some conversation in reference to this, but right now we're not going to allow a backlash of someone that just shared their experience of what they saw at a school board meeting.
And that's from anybody, and that's the truth. Even and Sandra has been known as well as us. Every kinfolk ain't kinfolk. So let's be real careful. When the day is done, you have to come back home.
Yeah.
And if for some reason you're playing on that fence, for some reason if your palm is getting greased, and then you want to take a pot shot at somebody who's speaking up for a sister that you perhaps did not, you be mindful now. We all might have bullseye on our back, so let's just be careful.
Yeah, and let it be known, we consider ourselves defenders of truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With that being said, we don't abuse that.
No.
There's some things that could really be put out there, but we don't do that. And all we ask is that
we're positive paper for positive people.
Absolutely.
We're not out here trying to diminish anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But when we tell the truth, if it doesn't set well with you, we're not going to stand for any type of backlashing or slandering. It's not going to happen.
And we have to, in the days of Samuel Rushmore, Cornish, and we got to plead our own cause. For far too long, others have spoken for us. No, it's not that kind of party.
No, I like parties, but it's not that kind. What else we got going on, man?
Oh man,
weather-wise, we had Hurricane David come through here, come through Florida. I pray for those ones. There were actually casualties. I think 4 people lost their lives.
4 people.
And it's still meandering through the Northeast. Just be careful out there.
Again, you hit on something with the loss of lives. That family in Belgrade, that 9 family members lost their lives in a rollover accident where they hit a guardrail and landed in a canal, and 9 people perished in that accident. So our hearts and our condolences go out to the families. Lord have mercy. That's
heartfelt. They were coming here for a birthday celebration for one of their family members that had turned 80. And again, our hearts and prayers go out to the family. And there's more to come with that. We at this point, we don't want to get into the malfunctions of it, but it's all about now supporting those family members.
Yeah. And good evening to everybody who has tuned in to view us. I see we got a litany of people joining us. I see we got T.P. Buckner coming all the way from Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah,
I see that. Yeah, what's happening there? I do see that we have our attorney. Wow, she said prayers for the family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Infrastructure problems in Belgrade too. Okay.
And before we get into tonight's show, we just want to pray for our safety for our kids going back to school. This is now we're getting really deep. Broward County School Board, as well as I think Dade, are already looking at increasing their safety. But we just want to now just do whatever we can to help assist in this back to school effort. The longshoremen and other individuals that first day of school, back to school, they had fathers come out and escort their kids back to school on the first day starting the new year. And we know the impact fathers have in our children's education. If our fathers show up, we want to make our fathers proud.
Absolutely.
So, dads, I'm calling you out. Show up. Be there for your kids on that first day of school.
You said something else too. Yeah, and be mindful. You car drivers and those who operate these vehicles, whatever. Just be mindful that when not only when school is in session, but I was walking today and there was a car filled with two young ladies that blew through the crosswalk as I was in the crosswalk. And had it not been for my athletic ability, I might have wound up on the hood of that car. And it scared me to death, man. So much so, yeah.
Not
So
like
please,
a deer in the headlights.
I'm serious, man.
Yeah.
So please be mindful and drivers keep your eyes open, and pedestrians keep your eyes open as well.
Yeah, because the laws are changing now. Those flashing lights might not have been on today, but they will be in the coming weeks. So drivers out there, be safe, be careful, and look out for our children.
Oh yeah. And speaking of a scare, perhaps,
brother, we're gonna bring our sports analyst on. It appeared that the USA basketball team might have had a little scare there for a minute.
Check it.
None other than our sports analyst, Brother Nudie Robinson. Brother Robinson, where are you? Are you here, Coach?
I'm here. How are you all doing?
We are well, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Listen, I was watching that game, and I came to the stadium. I mean, to the television a little late. And I was shocked when I saw the score. And it was like they were down by 12 points. And at one point, I heard they were down by more than that, because Serbia has some excellent NBA players on it, including the 3-time MVP. And they gave the U.S. a scare today. But you know what I like about our players? They know when to get serious. Mm-hmm. Now, what they did in the second half, in the third and fourth quarter, they began to press and not allow them so easily get in their sets. And when Coach put Kevin Durant in there, I think it made all the difference in the world, even though Steph Curry scored the most points. And Joel Embiid also showed his mettle. They were really playing inspired basketball, and they played great defense. And the pressure from the defensive standpoint is what really won that game. And what I like about LeBron is that he really knows how to control the game and who to get the ball to, and he knows when the moment is there to take advantage of it. And that's what that whole team did, because I don't think they wanted to be a part associated with any NBA caliber Olympic team from the United States of America that lost when they were clearly the best team in the entire tournament. So they held to form. It was a scare, but I think they're going to go on and do well against France in the final. Haven't spoken much about the girls, the ladies, not girls, because the ladies basketball is really phenomenal, and they're playing extremely well. They haven't been tested, and I don't think they will be. So the world is still catching up with our ladies basketball. But there's something really, it's something strange. I don't know if it's strange or whatever it is, but Noah Lyles has a type A personality, and he's a really great guy. And I think some of it is because he has had some issues that he deals with, and maybe being outspoken and verbacious like that is because he's dealing with his own issues. But he won last week that 100-meter dash in a classic photo finish. It was a great race, and I really enjoyed seeing those guys competing and then coming together. But his best race actually is a 200-meter, and he didn't do very well. He won the bronze medal, but he was expected to win the gold medal and take home both trophies along with the 4x1. So that didn't happen. But now we know that he had contracted COVID. And the question was whether he should have been allowed to run at all. They monitored his medical situation, and he was allowed to run. And the question I asked was, did he run with a mask on? And I saw that he did not. That's something that everybody has to really consider, because COVID, people, is still out there, even though we have some control of it. So we have to be mindful of that. But he's a great athlete, and sometimes your dreams just don't come true, Now, do y'all remember this kid named Quincy Hall from New Jersey or somewhere? Had the what do you call that? The teeth, the gold teeth, the grill. Yeah. And that was the talk of the town also. But this young man, in that 400 meter, he was about coming home stretch. he was probably about behind 3 or 4 runners. And he gave it all he had, and he won that race and by almost as close as the 100-meter race was. But it was an exciting race, and it was gutsy, and he just did an outstanding job. And so we're proud of him. And then this young man named Grant Holloway, who we hadn't won 110-meter hurdles in 12 years, and that's a race that we've dominated over the years, Americans. And he lost in Tokyo, and he was devastated. But he came back, and you could see the determination on his face, and you could see his parents in the stands, and they were just so excited. And he was prepped and ready, and he had a great start, and he won that race going away. So we're proud of him too. We've got a lot of second and first and second place finishes by Americans in sports that normally we wouldn't medal in. You know, I read a couple of them for you. In road racing, for example, and team pursuit bicycling and surfing and skateboarding and wrestling. So even though we haven't done as well in swimming and some other sports that we normally do well in, we're doing well in other sports. I'm really proud of the American athletes and their attitude toward it. I think the politicians could learn something from that. And Bob, I even wrote about that in the paper in my Noonie on the Sideline column.
Okay.
Sydney McLaughlin is she won last in Tokyo, but today she set a world record in the 400-meter hurdles. She is simply an outstanding athlete. Outstanding. And her score was, she won it in 50.3 seconds, a new world record. So we're really proud of her. All right. And the young man who beat Noah Lyles in the 200 meters, he's from Botswana. So we won't feel too bad about him. His name is Lasili Tobago, and he ran under 20. So we're proud of him. We're proud of all our people, right? So I could go on tonight, but I'm just so excited about. I want to see the rest of the sports, but I also want to hear what's going on with you guys and the conversation tonight. Is Baby on?
He's down there waiting.
He's down there waiting.
All righty. Okay. Well, thank y'all for the time, and I think one last thing. Right now we're leading with 30 gold medals and over how many medals overall? 130 or something like that. We're leading overall, and I believe that gold medal extension is going to grow soon. So, thank you so much. Have a great show tonight.
Okay. Hey, thank you, Coach. Coach, you touched on so many points, but we got to keep this show moving because this we got the brothers waiting on hold, and we got to bring them on the show, man.
Okay.
So I think we go in alphabetical order.
What from the first letter? Or
First, last thing. Yeah, you got.
Well, let's go first. Let's do this.
Let's go this.
One of our guests, he's not a stranger to the show. He's been on before. Very astute political person, and even though there's some complications that he deals with, he is extremely knowledgeable, and he presents his views in with a total different perspective. And every time I speak to this gentleman, I am amazed about how much he truly knows about the political scene. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring on Dvon Baby D Palmer. So let's bring him on. What's up, D?
Hey, how you doing? Peace and blessings to all y'all, man. How y'all doing?
Doing well, sir.
All right. I'm doing good. So how you doing, Mr. Bobby?
Hey, Dvon, like I said, I'm always inspired when I talk to you. Now, for a brief moment, give me just maybe a 30-second blurb on what you picked up today. What's happening out there today? Just 30 seconds.
Hey, basically, I'm a fly on the wall. Looking at all these politicians playing the game. When it comes down to it, I just think unity is the key. People just need to come together. You know what I'm saying? We just need to just come together and unite as one. Even though that's not the case, but hey, the people know what's right, because the other guys, they playing dirty games, and basically they just trying to tear down America. They trying to tear down the young lady Miss Harris, and that's all good. But like I say, I must emphasize it's all about unity. Everybody need to come together. You know, teamwork. You know, team together.
Gotcha.
Everyone can accomplish more.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
No,
We got you, bro.
I can't put the words together because
Yes,
it's
you could.
going on in this political race. It's insane. So
Okay. All right. What we got? What we got, Mr. D?
Well, you know, I want to bring on our next guest, but maybe before I let you go, I'm gonna pose this question and we're gonna come back to you. I want you to marinate on it a little bit. How can we bring that street team? Yeah, that's the question I want to have for you when we come back, okay? Because I'm gonna pose that to everybody. Okay. But our next guest is a brother by the name of Mr. Leroy Jones. Mr. Jones is a community advocate involved in organizing and advocating for returning citizens into understanding their neighborhoods. He's a part of an organization called the Circle of Brotherhoods, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for this brother and what the whole circle is doing. And that was one of the reasons I advocated for making sure we had somebody in this organization represented on the show tonight. So without any further ado, can you bring on Brother Jones? Brother Jones, how are you?
Hey, man, spectacular. How about y'all?
Doing well, man. Can you clarify or add to anything I might have said and make it real?
Well, you know, I'm a humble guy, so I like to get straight to the point. And, you know, used to trying to drag it all out. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'm Leroy Jones. I'm the lead organizer from the Circle of Brotherhood. I'm sure y'all know, Bobby know now, we have a chapter in Pompano that we probably been in existence now, probably about a year and a half or so. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited about working in Pompano, us doing things in Pompano with the brothers that's in Pompano.
And can you just share a little bit about what the Circle of Brotherhood is all about?
So it's a grassroots all men's organization. We like to say we got brothers in the organization from the streets to the suites. Mm-hmm. So we got guys in the organization that done double-digit years in prison. And we got guys in the organization that ain't never been in the back of a police car. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we're very active in the community, dealing with gun violence, dealing with mental health. We have our own former elementary school, the chapter in Miami, 58,000 square feet facility on 5.3 acres of land. Used to be an elementary school. We was lucky enough to have the school board member of that district and the former commissioner at that time of the district come together and allow us to use this beautiful facility that was just sitting dormant in our community for like 7 years. It became a dumping site. And so it was costing the school board a lot of money. It sitting there being empty. And we decided to ask for it, and lo and behold, we got it. And so we run a lot of programs out of there. We have one of the programs that's up in Broward, OIC. They have their second headquarters located in the Dr. Dorothy Bendroff Menegoff Social and Economic Institute. That's the name of it. Career Source is soon to move in there. Within probably the next 2 months, they'll be 100% fully operating in there. We got youth programs in there like Girl Power that deal with girls that's having issues. We got Neighbors and Neighbors Association that organize and manage the Mom and Pop Small Business Grant Program for Miami-Dade County. We got Tools for Change that offer loans to small businesses. So we got a lot of things going on out here, you know. So it's a lot. You know, I could be talking for a couple of days trying to identify everything we're doing. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get more into that, Brother Jones. We appreciate you being on the show tonight.
Who you got next? This young man here, and I'm quick calling him a young man. He's growing. He's growing into he's already a man. And he's established himself continually this gentleman is right now. I think he's a sophomore at in the Bachelor of Fine Arts candidate at Florida Atlantic University. He was one of the youngest candidates to run for a school board seat on the Broward County School Board. He's extremely knowledgeable about politics. I understand he has expanded his repertoire in acting. So it's my, and I need his autograph, but it's my honor to bring back to the show Mr. Presidential in attitude, Raymond Adderly. Come on, Raymond. What's happening, man?
Hey y'all, how y'all do? Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great. I don't know. I usually never have any problems. Apple and the browser recommended I download the app. So I downloaded the app and I wasn't hearing y'all clearly. So I just went back on Google Chrome and now I'm hearing everything clearly. But as always, it is just great to be on this show. I like to say I got my political start on this show over at The Office. And ever since then, I've just been a frequent guest back and I always enjoy being on the show. So thanks for having me.
And let me say this before we move further. Now, remember, on the camera in the background, we can see a whole lot of stuff. So those people who are moving back there, you tell them, especially they don't have any. Just
Make sure they're tired.
Excuse me. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. This is one of those. Okay. Now. Oh man, let me take a deep breath. On a serious note, Raymond, you are doing some outstanding stuff.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to do was to have a cross section of brothers and to have that conversation. Folks saying that brothers don't do this and brothers are not doing that, and we clearly know that each one of you have dispelled that myth. Dvon, I want to start with you. You asked the question.
Yeah.
And
the question is, how can we bring that street team together? And I know all of us in some of our walks of life have some type of connection somewhere, especially in the street or the neighborhood that we came up in. And I want to pose that question right now. And this question is really based on what you were saying, Dvon, in reference to us unifying and coming together. I want to pose that one to you, and then we can go on to Brother Jones. You're on mute.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Yes, you're on. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like I said, it's really simple. Like everybody need to just come together. Like they say, if you believe, you can achieve. And we just need to make people believe in this young, beautiful lady that we got that's in this political race. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we believed in our mothers, our sisters, our grandmothers. So we got to get behind her.
Mm-hmm. So how do we get that message, Dvon, over to our brothers who are hanging out, who are under the trees or on the corners?
Right. Simple. One word: communicate. No matter how they look, where they're from, and wherever they come from. I meant to say, like, just communicate with them and talk to them and push them and tell them that right now we in survival mode when it comes to America. We in survival mode. Like I said, we cannot let the other guy win this race. Simple. We can't. We can't, man. It's about to make me shed a tear. We can't let them win. Our life is at stake. Our lives are at stake.
So before we move on, Dvon, I still want to pose this question to you, and we're gonna move around to everybody else.
Okay.
But for those brothers that have been hurt, that have been scarred, and really feel like they really can't even trust the system, what's the conversation for them?
Hey, with God first, man. God first, and you just gotta forgive. Don't forget, but forgive. Like I say, our lives are at stake. Because if the other guys win, it ain't gonna be no laugh. It ain't gonna be no joking, because you know what they're trying to take from us. You know where they're trying to put us, and they're trying to set us back 100 years or maybe 200 years. And we're not trying to be in that zone no more. We're not trying to be there in that space no more. We're not. Simple.
Brother Jones?
Oh, so, you know, if the problem was that easy, it would have been solved already, right? And so I think we don't have enough of brothers that are not in survival mode that can find the time to dedicate to spend in our community that's needed. So in our neighborhood, we often asking people to donate and volunteer their services to help change the way people see us, the way we live, and the things that's going on in our environment. And it's not enough of us that's doing well enough that can dedicate the time back into the neighborhood to reach out to the masses of our people to try to help change their mindset. Let's not forget, man, they did a job on us, man. You know, slavery did a job on us. You know, they messed us up really, really bad, man, to where we don't believe in each other enough or trust each other enough because of how they did us, how they pit us against each other. So they messed us up, man. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to recover from that, but if we just stay focused and continue to plug away inch by inch, you know. But I think the real issue is too many of us in survival mode, and mentally it's messing us up, because if you can't live a certain way where you have everything that's provided to you that you need, then mentally it takes a mental state of control of you. You know, it have you looking at things and spending time on things that's not important, you know, and that's not going to help your growth. And so I'm gonna say again, if changing the way things are for us was that easy, it'd have been done. And we just got to keep plugging away, brothers. That's all. Just keep plugging away, man. Just do all that you can, you know, but not, you know. And I have this thing, and I'm gonna let the next speaker say. And I have this thing, and sometimes when I say it, people, well, not as much as they used to, because now they understand what I'm saying. But I got this thing where I say the best way to help poor people is not to be one. Because if you're not one, then you can help them. But how can a homeless person help a homeless person? How could a person at what they make and get paid every 2 weeks, when it's gone the next day, help somebody in the same situation? So that's what I mean by we got to get enough people out of survival mode so that they can be more responsible and get back to our neighborhood. You know, so.
Okay. Look, we got a dichotomy, a mix here of brothers, okay, from several different sectors. Raymond, on the academic style, right? Okay, there has been a split between brothers in college and brothers even from the same, at least at HBCUs that were in the neighborhood. It had always been a sort of struggle between the brothers from the universities and the brothers from the hood. You experiencing anything like that where you are, and how do you speak to addressing issues like that?
Was that for me?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Raymond. Yeah.
Oh, yes. My whole life has been that scenario. And I say that because I went to private. I didn't go to St. Thomas or American Heritage. I went to a small private school, Heart of Lauderdale Lakes, right on State Road 7 in Commercial, called Phil's Academy Preparatory School. My mom worked there. Her aunties worked there for a while, and then they went and opened up their own school. And because I learned at an early age to read, to enunciate my words and to speak with a certain vernacular that most people who grow up in the hood, like I didn't grow up in the suburbs until my mom got remarried, and then we moved to Coral Springs. But all my life I lived in Miami Gardens, North Lauderdale, Tamarack, Lauderdale Lakes. So by no means did I grow up in Coral Springs. I didn't grow up around a lot of, Caucasian brothers and sisters. I grew up around Black folk. And it was those same Black folk who would frequently call me an Oreo or white man, because I indulge in certain activities that are particularly related to that race. But here's my deal. And here's what I say to those people with that line of thinking. Just because I might not talk like you, or just because I may not dress like you, or I can't play basketball the way that you do, or I don't listen to rap, it doesn't mean that I'm any less living the Black experience in this country than you are. Because it doesn't matter if you're Black and you have a law degree from Harvard, or if you were just, Kokomo Joe sitting on the corner on Sistrunk, and that's where you've been, all your high school buddies know that's where you're at, and you run a domino game. We all live the Black experience in this country. And we can see that now clearly. We saw that when Barack Obama was running for president back in 2008 and 2012. Educated brother, law degree, senator, youngest senator from the state of Illinois, one of the youngest presidents to serve. And they tried to mark him with conspiracy, because that is the Black experience in America. Now we have Vice President Harris, who's running for president, and they're trying the same jokes. They're calling her a DEI hire. They're calling her, she's visiting colored sororities during the summer. That is the Black experience in America, unqualified, but she went to law school and served as an attorney general and DA. But yet she's still unqualified. And what pains me the most, and I'll wrap up here, is to see African Americans that look like me say that they're going to vote for Trump because Trump gave them a stimulus. In my studies, I read a book called Race and Economics, and it talked about how what Mr. Palmer was saying just a while ago, and Mr. Jones, how slavery completely messed up the way that we think about life. And that's true. And in this book, it details how slavery made living in the South so much tougher. We, as African Americans, will continue to live this Black experience until once again we organize our calls and our actions, and we get everybody to do that.
Mm-hmm. And how do we, as Black men, how do we remove that slave block, Brother Jones, that slave block from our minds that tell us that Willie Lynch syndrome, good talking Negroes versus broken English speaking Negroes? How do we realize and remove that block so we can get to where we need to be?
So if you never seen a car in your life and somebody told you it was an apple and you never seen an apple, when they told you that, you'll believe that car was an apple, right? And so the only way to change it is that people got to see victory. They got to see it in other people. Oftentimes we never get a win in our neighborhood. You know, I'm gonna pitch it. I'm gonna say this one time. They was doing a development not far from my house, and I promise you, when I tell you, all the people that live around there didn't want that development there because it was bringing some industrial in the neighborhood in their backyards, and everybody went to the government and paid an attorney. Everybody went because they was against it. And guess what? They still passed it because at the end of the day, it's all about money, man. You know, so even though all the people in the neighborhood didn't want it, they went and found some people that didn't live in the neighborhood and say they want to support it because they're gonna give them jobs. You know, they go find out people, give them $50, have them come to the meeting. 90% of them don't know what it's about, but they'll say that they want it there because they think they're going to get a job. And that was so disappointing that they will pass that to bring industrial in a residential neighborhood. And even though all the people didn't want it, but it still did. So how can we win? Small victories can become into large ones. And so we have to put people in office who are going to support our views and our opinions, who are going to listen to us, you know? And don't be blindsided by people saying what they're going to do. You know, they're going to tell you anything you want to hear because they want to get in office. And so how we make a change is that our people got to continue to see people in the neighborhood that's doing great things, that's making strides in the neighborhood, you know? And you know what? When I was younger, I used to be so upset with the people in our neighborhood who did good and left and never came back. And I was so mad about that. But then as I got older, I realized why they do it. Because some of them do it because if they don't leave, they'll tear them down. They'll destroy them, you know, verbally. They'll try to make them feel guilty because they did better than them. And so I watch it time and time again, you know, so it ain't that many of us cut out in that cloth that can do great and still stay there, you know, because you become now the person who everybody come to help with their light bill, to help with their rent, to help find a job, to help with this help save, pay the tax on their house. So you stand there, you got to be equipped for that, bro. Everybody can't do that, you know, and so that's why the majority of them leave, because if they don't leave, they'll kill them, man. And I'm not talking about physically, mentally, you know. So it's not many of us cut out like to be there, to get on their feet, to do very well and still stay there. But some, you will know if you cut out to stay there. Like I'm cut out to stay here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
you,
so
you know, Brother Jones, you speak of something you speak of a form of gentrification that we put ourselves through. We create that. You know, and Dvon, I want to ask you something, bro. You know, and you know, you've experienced some difficult times, some times that tried you. You are experiencing some things now. How do you maintain your civility and understand what's going on in this world politically? And how do you talk to brothers? And you know, I mean, from down here to up here, how do you do that? What's your key?
I would like to say God first and have an inner peace. You know what I'm saying? You gotta use your talent to communicate. And I'm like I said, I'm standing firm on communication, because when it's all said and done, nobody really never came to the hood or came to the projects where I stayed at and talked to us and guided us. That's all these, I feel like that's all these young men and these young women need. They need guidance. Like I say, I stand firm on communication like that. I stand firm on it. Like you need people to come to the communities and say, hey, whoop, 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 whoop. And I know it's hard. I know it's not easy to do, but it can be done. The impossible can be done with God.
Well, what happened to you, Dvon? Let's talk. What happened to you to move you from that point of I don't want to say worthlessness, but apathy.
To be honest, I don't think y'all had a time on the show.
Cut it short, then.
I can keep it short. It was you. You talked to me and gave me a positive light, because without you, I wouldn't have been in a negative light. I would have been robbing, stealing, killing, etc. It's all because of you and the Westside Gazette family that brung me in and taught me and guided me in the right direction. My mom died at an early age when I was younger, and my dad died. So I wasn't getting guided. The only way I was getting guided, I was getting guided by gangs. You feel me? So, like I said, it was you and the Westside Gazette and Mr. Levi Henry guided me on the right path. You talked to me, you inspired me, and right now to this day, you inspire me and you teaching me, and I watch you move, and we have conversations, even about politics. So,
Amen.
I didn't pay for that.
No. Brother Jones and all of you, that we have that mindset. Brother Jones, I'm directing at you because you said something about a person, a homeless person. It's hard for them to help another homeless person. But unfortunately, some of us got this mindset of I got mine, and you get yours. How do we speak to that? How do we humble some of our successful brothers that, as you say, Dvon, and all the other that left and never came back? And as Jay-Z said, they left, never came back, and showed us the way.
So when I said about the best way to help homeless people is not to be one, because if you're financially stable, then you can help them. You can help others. But if you ain't, then how can you? Where they gonna put you? In the same situation? Two negatives don't make a positive, right? The positive and the negative both got to be together to work. Okay, so the negative is the undercurrent and the positive is the power. So, so that's what I mean by that. So all of us is cut from something different. Some of us more stronger, more vocal, more stable, and more conscious than others, right? Some of us don't have the willpower. They don't have the stamina. They don't have the courage. And so which box do you fall in, right? So you got to identify the box that you fall in. And once you know the box that you fall in, then you can make changes if you want. So you can always be a part of something that's great, right? If that's how your mind think. But if it don't think greatness ain't gonna happen. So I'm a strong believer that you lead by example. And that's what I try to be in the neighborhood where I live at. I try to lead by example. I want people to see what a strong, positive, conscious, dedicated person that can think for himself look like when they see me. Right now, is everybody gonna love me or care for me? Of course not, because some of the people, because of how I am, they can't accept it, especially where I come from, right? But that ain't for me to worry about, That's for them to worry about. That's their problem. It ain't my problem. So,
Raymond, when I was coming up, for a brother to be articulate and enunciate his words in the fashion that you do, speak the King's language, it was difficult for me to develop a relationship. You are not different from any of the other brothers, not by a long shot. What would you tell brothers who are aspiring and on that plane that you're on? What would you tell them in bringing up brothers who are not in that circle? Why is it important, and what would you tell them? How you would tell them?
Well, for one, you got to start off with what's obvious. You talked about skin folk and kin folk earlier, and I just talked about it too. Just because someone enunciates or someone speaks doesn't mean that they're any less black than you. Because why, one of the reasons I ran for school board is because I do believe that we do our students a great injustice in our schools when we give up on them, because education is truly the biggest equalizer in this country. And so what we have seen over the years is the Black cause is certainly not resolved. And there certainly is so much more work to do. But what I'll say is this. Number one, just because someone is speaking properly, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're of a higher status than you, or that they know more than you do. Because some of the wisest people that I know don't talk like me. They talk completely different. But what has to happen is there has to be a mutual respect between the two. Now, I don't go to anybody and say, well, man, why do you talk like that? I don't understand what you're saying. Because I do. Like I said, I grew up in Carroll City. I grew up in Hialeah. So I grew up around the vernacular that everybody is used to. But it doesn't necessarily mean that when I go to these areas that I need to speak in a different tone to adjust. No, I need to speak in the tone that I normally speak in, because that's me being uniquely myself. And everybody just needs to do that. Be uniquely themselves. Because it doesn't mean if you speak on this level or you speak on that level that you're more uppity or you're better than such and such. No, it don't. I mean, I know brothers who speak not like me, and they go on and they're very successful. They're making $250,000 a year, live in nice homes. They don't speak like me. I would say this: it doesn't matter what cloth you're cut from. In this society and in this country and in this state, everybody who looks like me has a shot. Everybody has an opportunity, like Mr. Jones say, to get up and leave or stay and be that asset, be that plug to help somebody else out in the long run. But it starts with the fact that the Black experience in America is that the Black man and Black woman simply just has to work harder than everybody else to get what they want. And if you work hard enough, your goals can be achievable. Is it fair that we have to work hard enough? No. But it's a testament to our strength of what it is that we can do, what it is that we can become. And I had a teacher, Miss Andrea at Phil's, who used to tell our class this all the time. She'd tell us two things. Number one, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And number two, the one thing that a white person is afraid of is an educated Black man or woman. Because of the internal fortitude that we have, we are willing to work hard to put up numbers and make sure that our families are okay. And yeah, we don't have that long-term substantive generational wealth that are some of our Caucasian brothers and sisters do, but it doesn't mean that we can build it. And the call that I make always is, if more Black people stop, just sitting down and being content with their life, and grow up and get to these places, take their education seriously, get their trades in order, because not everybody has to go to college. I'm a big advocate for that. Get their trades in order. How much more successful can our people be as one? And then you know what you have, Bobby, you know what you have, David? Mm-hmm. You have Black brothers and Black sisters, some who sound like me and some who sound like Mr. Palmer, working together in tandem against the people who are trying to rip us all apart. Like Wall Street wasn't doctors and lawyers, it was barbers, it was people doing nails, it was seamstress, all working together to build this affluent place. And if we get back there as a people, they can't stop us now. Too much technology and stuff going on now. We ain't that stupid no more. But that's what we have to do. And I agree. We have to communicate. We have to work together. And we do that. The sky's the limit, truly.
Brother Adderly, I hear you. Brother Palmer, I hear you. Brother Jones, I hear you. I hear unity. I hear unity.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
For all our brothers, from the streets to the suites, as we say. Mm-hmm. It's about unity right now. I hear some of our viewers out there, they've been chiming in. Brother Larry Wing, Big Larry, Brother Wesley Board, Attorney Sandra. We appreciate all your comments. But this is truly deep. We're right at the top of the hour. But right now, it's all about unity. And Brother Dvon, I want you to unmute your mic, because I feel like you got something you want to share right now. I need you to unmute. Can you hear me? All right. Mm-hmm. Brother Jones, anything you want to add to that? Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go.
I'm like you say, I'm gonna stand on business. I know it's more easier said than done, but once you do it, our lives will be more easier. We gotta communicate. You gotta go to the hoods, even though they might look at you crazy, they might act all loony, but you gotta communicate. You can penetrate a rock, believe it or not. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Brother Palmer, how do you build that trust? Because we know the hood.
How do you build that trust?
Yeah, but if they don't trust you, it might be some friction.
You don't worry about the trust. You lead with your heart. You speak with your heart. That's all. Amen. That's all that matters. And trust me, you could break it. You could break the wood. You could, like I said, you could penetrate the rock. You just gotta use your gift, the gab, and you gotta use your talent. It can be done. Like I'm gonna say to Bobby again. Bobby used his gift to gab, and he used his positivity to get to me, because I was colder than a polar bear's toenail. That's all I gotta say. For real.
Oh man. No, that's real. What I've seen, and I know we're closing up, but what I've seen is when people go into the hoods, especially political candidates, they tiptoe. They're too timid, which is like you walking into a lion's den scared. They can smell it on you. They can see it on you. And so if you go in a genuine place, Bobby, you knew my campaign where I never went into any facility and talked about myself and my qualifications. I always asked, well, what is it? How can I assist you in getting where you need to be? And obviously, I talked about some of my observations and things that we could do better to ensure that we have a better, more sustainable, accessible future. But nobody wants to hear about you when they're in their time of trouble. People want to know how you can help out. And if candidates do that going into the hood, again, how much better can our race be? And by the way, the hood is not specific to Black people anymore. Hispanics in there, it is Brazilians in there. I mean, everybody in the hood now, because it's so expensive to live. And as long as we go in, like D was saying, as long as we go in out of a good place. Lead with the heart. You got to be just as clever as these folk, because just because they in the hood don't mean they ain't smart. Oh, they smart. They'll get something. They get something up out you. Don't. So you got to be just as smart, but you also have to be just as loving, just as understanding, and just as caring, because nobody goes there. And when you do, the game absolutely changes.
Brother Jones.
Before you bring Brother Jones on, this celebration of life against cancer, I've been noticing some comments, but this one right here, it jumps out at me. And this person says,
It takes our OGs to mentor young men.
You know, that OG encompasses a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's an earned badge. It comes from scraping your knees and getting scabs on you, and perhaps a hickey every now and then. So it's the earned badge. And when from the badges that we have earned as OGs, we're supposed to give it back to our young men and our young women. We're supposed to do that. That's the rite of passage. So, but go, Brother Jones.
And Brother Jones, because circle of brotherhood. That's what
but
y'all said though.
If I can do this now, I know I'll do this. That circle of brotherhood. When I went down to Miami to witness their whole philosophy in action, staying in a homeless camp, T-shirts hanging on a fence, made up bed space and toilets. These brothers endured the hardships of out in the elements because they believed in what they were doing. They were willing to sacrifice everything they had, not just what somebody's saying. They lived it. They slept on cots in a vacant lot in Miami, in Liberty City. I'm talking about these brothers slept outside in inclement weather to bring the hope back to the community. That's why they were able to get a school. That's why they were able to take a brother from prison to give him a job. That's why they were able to do it. They lived it. It wasn't no stuff about you telling me. I'm giving you from the real deal. I know what you're talking about, my Negro, because I lived it. So they were witnesses of what it means to come up and to have somebody that believed in you, that had the wherewithal to do it. And so that's what this whole thing is about. Brother Jones, I ain't raining on you. Go ahead on, man. Don't get me, because I was really impressed with what y'all did.
So I want to thank you for that, Brother Bobby. So Bobby was talking about 9 members of the Circle of Brotherhood, and I'm one of the 9. Went on a 21.5-day hunger strike. And I mean hunger strike. I mean no food, nothing but water, right? And if you think going 21.5 days without eating isn't hard, try it. I wouldn't recommend you do it, but try it if you think it's easy, okay? And the whole goal was to have our community have dialogue about gun violence. We're not going there thinking that we was going to stop gun violence, because we know gun violence is bigger than that, right? We just wanted everybody to have a conversation around gun violence. And let me tell you, that was probably the most profound thing I ever done in my life, man. That you talking about tough. That was tough, bro. But we had people from all over the world come see us, you know. And it wasn't just a hunger strike where we sat down and laid down. We was actually teaching classes, teaching police classes, teaching classes to the college students, high school students, churches. I mean, literally, we was up and down all day. You know, till it got to a point at a certain time of the day, they had to close the gate and not let nobody in so that we can get some rest, right? And we must have took 1 million pictures, man. And so that is one of my most proudest moments. But I'm going to tell you what, right now, I think, if not first, second. 10 years ago, skipping the 2 years from COVID, we decided that all of the brothers, we was going to go on a retreat, but not a retreat in Miami, a retreat, a cruise. So we went on a cruise to do a retreat. And the first time we went, it was 18 brothers. Me and my wife paid for it all, paid for the whole thing. All 18 brothers, including myself. The expense was on me and my wife. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to see how just that weekend from Friday and Monday, how much conversation would come around that. And so me and 18 other brothers went on a cruise, went to Nassau. And this is the first time I was the only one that had ever been on a cruise before. So none of them had ever been on a cruise ship, never been on a boat before, right? And let me tell you, they met people from all over the world. And when they came back, they were some different human beings. Now, I know it's hard to think that 3 days can change a person's life. But if you take somebody out of the hood that ain't never been nowhere, and you take them someplace like on a cruise, where they can eat as much as they want, the entertainment free, they ain't got to have one penny. Because once you pay for the cruise, you pay for everything, right? And you put them in that environment. And then when you bring them back, man, let me tell you, man, it's amazing. And so right now, this year, going to make our 8th annual cruise. The last year when we went, it was 93 of us went, including 8 brothers from Pompano. And it keeps growing and growing, right? And so I would say, let's do this. Let's work on finding the brothers who ain't never been nowhere, that everybody follow and listen to. And let's get them out of that environment. Let them see how life really is, not what they see on TV. Take them somewhere for 3 or 4 days. Let them experience something that they never seen before. And I promise you, man, it's a humbling experience. They'll never forget that for the rest of their life, right? And that's going to change the way they see things, man. A lot of the stuff happened in our community because the majority of the people ain't never been nowhere. They ain't never seen nothing. They don't know life itself. Life is just 3 square miles from where they live. That's the furthest they went, right? But take them someplace and let them experience how life really is. And I promise you, man, they'll be a different person, man. I'm going to tell you what, taking them guys on a cruise, and I'm going to tell you, it's not, don't get misled about this. We're not just going to have fun. All Saturday on the cruise ship, we having a retreat. We having speakers. You know, everybody got to be on when we having the meeting. Everybody got to be on time. I don't care if they stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning on the cruise ship. 8 o'clock, they better be in that room for that meeting, or it's a $50 fine, right? And so we strict about that. So of course we go to have fun, but we also go to learn and bond with each other, man. And it's a beautiful experience, man. It's man, like,
Okay.
I you know what? I'm happy to meet you, Brother Raymond. I'm happy to meet you, Brother Dvon. Like, I'm listening to you, brothers, man. Like, you know, it makes me feel like it's hope when I hear you, brothers, man. That it's hope. You know, I'm so happy to be in this meeting with you, brothers, man. Like, you know, I hope one day to get to meet you all, man. Have y'all come down to our facility and see what Black men are doing down in Miami, man. Like, it's amazing. And think about this. We have a public school that we pay $1 a year for, 58,000 square feet, right? That is ran and managed by convicted felons. No place in America, no other place in America that's taking place. No other place. If you think I don't know what I'm talking about, you know what the young people say, Google it. Find another place. Google it. Find another place in America where convicted felons is running a public school. No place in America but there. You know, we took a dump site that nobody wanted, and not everybody want it, man. Everybody want it or want to be there. So I'm just honored. Thank you, Bobby, for inviting me on this, man. I'm honored to see you two brothers, and maybe Dvon and Raymond, you brothers might want to think about going on a cruise with us.
Gotcha.
We leaving November the 15th, and
If
you're gonna meet some brothers, man, that's changing the world, bro. They changing the world. I promise you.
I'm in college, so if you pay,
okay.
We can see. We can see. We can see.
So listen, guys.
So Bobby can share
share
my information with both of you brothers, okay?
Okay.
Right.
Okay, I'm looking forward to meeting y'all, man. For real, man. I'm inspired by you brothers, man. For real, you let me know that it's still hope, man. It is, bro. Thank you.
So as we get ready to summarize and close out for the night, we're gonna go around and let everybody just give us a 30 second close.
And that means you two politicians were 30 seconds.
I'll start with you, brother Dvon.
Like I said, I'm standing on business when it comes to communication and unity. But first, God, like that's what I'm standing on. We gotta communicate. We can't be scared to communicate, no matter what. Martin Luther King wasn't scared to communicate and march and stomp. We can't be scared. Brother Malcolm wasn't scared to communicate with the people. We can't be scared to go in the fire. Even if we get burnt, I get burnt and still have a conversation with you. That's all.
Amen. Brother Jones.
So I want to leave everybody with this who's listening to this. Oftentimes, we try to read into things with our own mind. We try to think of what other people thinking and what other people doing and talk about how they doing. Let's think about ourselves, man, what we need to do, right? Don't sweat the small stuff, man. We worry about too many little small things. We waste too much time on things that's not important, man. 90% of our day is wasted on time that ain't gonna change or fix nothing. We got to get out of that mold, man. We can't be afraid to take a chance at a better life. Like, who don't want to wake up with money in their pocket, man? Who don't want to wake up in a decent place to live? Like, we got to get out of that mindset of always spending so much time on the small stuff. Man, it's a whole world out there for us. And let me tell you, if we all wake up tomorrow and come together, we can change this thing in one day.
One day.
I promise you, bro. If black people wake up tomorrow and thinking on the same accord, it'll be a new game, man. I promise you. It's just that easy. We just got to put the effort in to do it, man. We got to have more wins. We got to have individual wins ourselves, man, because that's where the motivation comes from. The individual wins, man. Thank you.
Brother Adderly.
Yeah, I just say it's not the politician in me that makes me long-winded. It's that old Baptist preacher that's down on the inside. But it more seriousness though. A proverb that goes, "You eat an elephant bit by bit." First time I heard that, I was sitting in Miami Gardens Councilwoman Shannon Iguodaro's office, and she was giving me advice on how to run my race for school board. She said, "How do you eat an elephant? Bit by bit." The more that we bit by bit continue to organize our struggle, the more that we bit by bit continue to lift up and uplift one another, the more we bit by bit continue to support our Black-owned businesses, our Black candidates who are running office who have our interests at heart, the more bit by bit we continue to communicate with one another and aspire, and the more we bit by bit rule out the division that the white man has placed in our people, the more we bit by bit rule that. And one thing that's going to come out of that, Brother Bobby, Brother David, Brother Dvon, Brother Leroy, unity. That is what they do not want to see. And they've worked so hard all these years to upset that unity, from the planting the drugs during the 80s and putting black men in jail at higher rates than anybody else. It's because they've wanted to disturb the unity. And one more quote. A man by the name of Daryl Hodge. I don't know if anybody know Mr.
Hodge.
But I was in 8th grade, and he came in and did a men's etiquette forum for us. And I'll never forget something that he said, because I wrote it down and I remembered it because it was so profound. And he said, never give anybody else your ink pen to write your life story. And so now is where I come in and say, my black brothers and sisters, stop giving away our pen and our power to others to dictate our narrative. Let's start owning our narrative and rewriting it today.
All right. Brother Adderly, if you're not in seminary yet, I feel like you're on your way. So we're going to let our dear Brother Adderly just about to close us out. Are you ready for us, sir?
Yeah, you know, I'm inspired. And Brother Jones, it's evident what you do, because your son is a replica of yourself.
Thank you, sir.
And that means a lot. So
Thank you, sir.
I can soon learn to do it if you let me see it done. I can watch your hand in motion, but your tongue too fast may run. For the very best of teachers are the ones who live their creed, and to see good put into action is what everybody needs. Now I'm gonna do this and close out. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Proverbs 17:17 states, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born to help in times of trouble." This proverb highlights the importance in different aspects of two types of close relationships: friendship and family. A genuine friend is someone who shows love, support, and loyalty regardless of the circumstances. True friends are there through good times and bad, offering companionship, encouragement, and assistance when needed. The phrase, "a brother is born for adversity," suggests that family bonds are often strongest and most evident during challenging times. So I say to you, my brothers, the harder the times come, the stronger we get. And we get stronger based upon the unity that we come together with. So, brother, out of love, let's build this unity. Let's create that power we need. I love you all, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. So thank you so very much for this conversation tonight, and let's show what we can do as opposed to just talking. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Bob.